Hello, everybody. It's Aliza with another Voices of a New Humanity, Voices for New Humanity. And I'm here today with my friend, Mary Lunnen. And Mary is a brilliant voice on the planet. She has done amazing, amazing work. I think your work, Dare to Blossom, is your underlying work, but you've also written a book recently. You took a group of us to New Zealand recently, and we are in some groups together. So I wanted to just invite Mary on to join in the conversation. And these conversations are really exploring what is New Humanity now and how is that impacting you. So these are very real conversations. We have no plan except to have fun, right, Mary?
Absolutely.
So welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Why don't you start by just giving us just a little snippet of who you are and what you are bringing to the world these days.
Well, there's a challenge.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, as you've just said, my business is called Dare to Blossom, and it's called Dare to Blossom Life Coaching because that's where I started. It's grown and expanded and blossomed into all sorts of different fields of things that I do. So basically, it brings in everything I love to do and I love to share with other people. So some of that is a coaching process, one-to-one or in groups. Some of it is the photographs I love to share of my walks when I can get out and walk, or my art that I do, or the writing that I do, as you say, and the little cards that I've developed, which are called Dare to Blossom Rediscovery Cards. They've all grown out of my own journey through my life and where it's taken me and the things I've learned and the people I've met. And that continues onwards, of course. And it's just a joy to be able to share it with other people.
Yeah. And you just bring such a brilliant presence to everything. Every time I'm with you on a call, it's just like, oh, there's Mary. But I kind of wanted to jump into, the places that we're playing when you and I and the group that we're with and we do our lineups and we do our zinging ups and we do our sparkle ups and we land into these amazing places. That's what I'm calling New Humanity. So what is your take on that? What is your experience as we're playing in some of that?
I mean, it's so interesting because it always takes me further than I might go by myself, but it also takes me to the same places in many ways. And I've learned when I first started, being in those groups years ago now, I felt very much I was dipping in and then I was back to normal life, if you like, old humanity maybe in your terms. In between, it's really hard to sort of be with that sort of energy when I wasn't in the group. Whereas now it's switched around a lot, so I feel that I'm, nearly all the time. Now, not all the time because I'm human. We all have those moments. We get pulled back into old stuff, which is, that's what life's about. And a lot of the time, I'm now in my own particular space, a bit like you're doing with with your work and different ways of doing things. So we all have our own way of being in that newness and that vision of how we would like things to be. So part of the work I do is leading people on guided visualizations called magic carpet rides, and they make people smile. Just saying that makes you smile.
It does.
And it is fun. It's actually the 5th anniversary very soon of when I first began that, which was when I returned to being self-employed full-time after working as well for lots of years. I just wanted something really light and playful yet powerful, and that turned out to be it. It was, I'm still doing them because people love it so much. Yeah. And it's a powerful process, and that is, a guided visualization is whatever it is, but lots of people go to that place and go to a different world, go to a new version of what they could be next, and the next highest thing they could be. And sometimes they don't do anything. Sometimes they just need to rest. Have a little snooze whilst we're on the journey. Sometimes they get messages and advice from their future selves or from people they meet. All sorts of things happen. But I feel in a way that's very much connected in a different way, in my particular way, because we're all doing similar sort of work in our lives. I think everybody working in this field. It's just that the way each of us can do it, if we can find our own particular voice bring that into the world. That's the gift that we each have to bring individually. And if we don't do it, it won't be heard. So it's not that, one person does it better than the other, or they just do it differently. They do it in their way. That's why I love
Yeah,
digging into things.
I was having a conversation with one of my students last night, and I say students because some of my work is teacher-student, which is different than really my work. But she was saying, you've got all these great experiences, and I'm waiting for the cosmic 2x4. And I said, oh, no, 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 no. Don't wait for the cosmic 2x4. Those hurt. But the inspiration, the impulse within, because I think everybody who's coming into these conversations is ready and is being drawn into new awakening, to new humanity. But people are like wanting it to look a certain way, and that's not necessarily it. Sometimes it is, like you say, you tip your toe in, you have a glimmer, you have a day where it's like, oh, that was a brilliant day. And then you kind of slam back out into reality, depending on how immersed you are in what's going on in the world, right?
Yes, yes. And I think one of the differences with the new humanity is that we won't need those cosmic 2x4s or those wake-up calls.
Yeah.
Because most of us in my life, I had a huge wake-up call 26 years ago now when I had a cancer diagnosis, and that really put me onto the path I'm on now. I don't regret any of that because it's brought me here. But I think a lot of people now, and the young people, the children and the young people that are growing up now, are actually already connected in many ways, many of them, to this
Yeah.
new humanity and this new consciousness of energy and the things they can do and be, which I think is actually amazing and wonderfully inspiring. And that's what my real vision would be, that everybody would stay awake, because we're born with it. I truly believe that we're born connected to this big global consciousness. And part of our journey in the past as the current version of humanity has been to forget and to need to reawaken and come back to that awareness. But I think now the change that is happening is that more and more people aren't forgetting, not forgetting quite so thoroughly, aren't falling asleep quite so deeply, and they're coming back
Yeah.
more quickly.
I think that's so true. The other thing that I find is really true, especially in the last decade or so, a lot of my work has been, doing the deep clean of the subconscious, and for some years it was relatively hard work, like excavating work. But that work hardly ever comes up anymore, because it's like you just choose. You just line up to this new place, and then none of that matters. It feels to me to be such a different level of consciousness that, as you say, you don't go to sleep. You don't have to, it's not hard. And it's fresh, and it's lighthearted, and it's magic carpet rides, and it's sparkles, and it's so exciting to me what's coming, or what's here, maybe.
Yeah, it is. And I think this time that we're living in now, with this big event that's happening around the world, is a huge opportunity. It's a big sadness for many people, but that's always going to happen in life. People are going to leave their bodies and go off wherever they go next, and that's really sad for the people that are involved with it. And on a human level, and actually this whole opportunity of changing how we think and how we live and how we work, all these things, is a huge, we could call it an enormous cosmic 2x4 if we wanted to.
Right. Yeah, I mostly stay in the realm of possibility, in the realm of, what's coming, what like the innovations and the creativities and some of the things that we've already seen in the work that you and I and others have done together with, going back to the Australia wildfires, and, some things that have shifted and changed in some of the places, that we just line up, and miraculous outcomes like sort of just appear. And I think that also is more, it's the new way of being, but more and more and more we can be in that place. I mean, I'm just sort of repeating what you're saying. We don't have to like get caught down in the density. And that's not to diminish the pain that some people are in. That's not to diminish that, but there's another way to even be in pain. There's another way to navigate through this. And I think that's what we're discovering it, but it's almost like we're discovering it and remembering it and recognizing it and creating it all at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important not to make pain bad or wrong.
Right.
I don't think it is. It's part of our human experience, but it's what we do with it and how we experience it and how we are compassionate with ourselves and others whilst we're experiencing it. Because there's always going to be those things. That's why we're living in a physical body. It feels pain, so there's a reason for that. And we feel pain in different ways in our consciousness, our mental energy, if you want to call it that. So I think it's not that everything's going to be bright and light and sparkles, but what it is that's always there. And the more we can tune into that, the more it helps us navigate for the other things we need to do in this life. I think it's really important to stay connected to our bodies and to be aware of that. And the more we look after them, the more we treat them with respect and compassion, the easier we can bring everything together, bring the spiritual and the energy work and all those different things, however you describe them, bring them truly into our lives and into our bodies as well.
Yeah, that's so beautifully put. Well, I like to say that sometimes our physical pain and emotional too, but is indicators. You know, it's not us. It's an experience we're having. Our bodies are an experience that we're having. The pain we have in our body, the pain we have, you know, in our lives. And we in my family went through a pretty tough emotional and then mental, you know, pain recently, and that's sort of resurfaced as some court things are happening and all of that. But it's not to diminish that or not to discount, not even to make it go away, but who are we becoming as we move through that?
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, with your diagnosis, you wouldn't, well, my words, you wouldn't wish on anybody, and you don't regret any of it because of who you became walking through it, right?
Yes. Yes. And being able to be more and more of that makes you conscious of who you're being, and knowing you have a choice. You often can't choose the experiences in your life, but you can choose your response to them. And it's also, again, I think there is, like, I keep using that word compassion because I've been talking about it elsewhere today, but it feels really important to me in this time as well, just being compassionate with ourselves and with other people. And it's interesting, I had this conversation I was having, we were splitting it up into community and compassion, and it is almost if that's what's happening. And there's these wonderful things happening around the world where community are coming together passionately to help other people and to support their communities, and that's combining into this approach of compassion. So it's my word of the day at the moment.
That's beautiful. I never saw that before. Community and compassion. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. So what is one vision or one quality that you would gift and hold for the world right now as we wrap up our time together?
Oh gosh, vision. It's about community. It's about connection. It's about weaving the web that we're all connected to. And I've always known this. It's come off quite a bit in the group that we're in, but I've always known since being very small that we're all connected, and there are threads that connect every soul in the world. And sometimes we know each other, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we lose touch. And we sort of tug the thread and say, "Hello, I'm here. Would you like to come closer for a while?" And we come closer, and then we may drift away again. There's something about that web of connection which surrounds the whole of humanity, which I feel that awareness I've always had and I can share with others, that helps people in all sorts of different ways.
Yeah, it really reminds us that we're not alone and that we're never alone, even as we feel alone, even as we're socially distanced, right? We're so interconnected.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
And we've got this wonderful technology, but we've also got the other ways that we connect through the energy
exactly.
fields and the new humanity.
Exactly. Yeah, I always love to hear you talk about the web because it feels like you see it so clearly. I can sense it when I think about when I go, oh yeah, there's a web, I can find it, but it's not what comes automatically for me. So that's one of the things I love about where we're going too is every one of us has our own unique flavor of what we're accessing and how we're accessing it.
Yes, yes. That's what's so magical, isn't it? It's what's such fun.
It is. It is. It's very magical and very fun. I think that feels really good, Mary. Thank you so much for being here. I will post Mary's, well, you have a new book and your Facebook page, and I'll post your links in the description when we go live. And I just so appreciate you and who you are in the world and who you are as part of the new humanity now.
Thank you.
Mwah.